Usually when I stay in a hotel, I show the room and I talk about it and all that stuff. I didn't do that this time. I already used the room. I was just way too tired last night. I wanted to come in here and just go to sleep, get what I needed to get done. I need a chair like that to tell stories in for my story time videos. And I'm not really going to talk about the room. It's really nice. I'm at the Hilton Garden Inn in Calabasas, California. I like this. I'm not a fan of glass on a shower, but this is really cool. They got that. And there's a little button on the side so you could change the different modes. But I like this. This thing's on the opposite side. I really dig that. That's pretty cool. I like that. And it's really nice, pretty standard. One of the things I've noticed about all the hotels that I get to stay in, there's no Bibles. Are the Gideons not doing that anymore? Are the hotels not allowing it anymore? I guess I'll have to look that up. And I think I know somebody that's a Gideon right now. I'm gonna ask him as well, like why? Like I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd show it real quick. I've already used it. It's a very, very nice hotel. Breakfast is not free. It's expensive. This hotel is expensive. It's really nice. This neighborhood is like a really, really rich neighborhood. I'm gonna try and show like the grocery store, like the outside. You guys will be like, that's not a grocery store. I didn't even think so. And I'm from here. But I figured I'll just show some of the stuff. And this is gonna be my vlogging camera for the day. Over here. That's awesome. Look at that. Moonlight Rollerway Skating Center. Wow. I'm surprised that's still there. Is that actually still a skating rink? That was the Moonlight Skating Rink. Wow. I'm surprised that's still there, if that's what's really in there, if the sign was just on the building.
Barbara is hosting workshops this summer to assist students on the UC application process. Wow. That's good. That's so cool. Let me ask Zoe. Did you see that email just now that UC Santa Barbara is going to host?
Big old Chevy truck. Close. Oh, wow, there's a stagecoach on top of that building. Yeah. Old Gimuri. I can't read it. Where's that skater trying to go? Right here? Using a phone to record, so I'm sure it ain't gonna come out that great. I was gonna say, I got all the stuff. Actually, I have all the stuff in the car. Go stick the camera on the gimbal and go over there and be like, hey man. He'd be like, what the heck? There's an Earl Scheib still in business. Wow. Puppy! I'm not going to get out of the car for this one, but I always tell a story about an apartment that I had, and I had a car and a motorcycle at that time. Well, it is now a baseball field. This used to be, all this used to be an apartment complex that I lived in. And I don't know if that's when Jamie and Tammy and Jamie pulled up in the Mustang. And this used to be a street, this parking lot that I'm in, this used to be a street. This used to be a street right here. And Jamie, the guy, parked right here against this curb, and our apartment was right there upstairs. And they pulled up right there, and I think that's when we went to the Queensryche concert, where I was touching, I didn't want to touch my wife, so I was kind of protecting her. I'll tell that story some other time. But this whole thing right here, this used to be a little apartment complex. And, well, yeah, it's gone. I don't expect certain things to be here anymore, but anyway, whenever I tell that story, I always tell people that story. But this is where it was. There's a drift car back there. I used to take I tell people about the car. Hey. The car, the guy cut the top off himself. I talked about that car in one of my videos after Cars and Coffee. I was talking about the Fiat. And that's where I was living when I had the Fiat. And I talk about how the guy cut the top off. Well, there were bushes in between the apartments. Like there was like a little cutout with the bushes. I used to just take the top off and stick it in the bushes and drive around for the day. If someone stole it, I really didn't care. You don't really need a top on your car around here, as long as you don't keep nothing valuable in it. But like the weather is so awesome here. This sucks because you can't see. I mean, the weather's so nice here, it doesn't matter. So I have to tell the story of the Fiat. I had a 1974, it was either 74, 78, I can't remember. I didn't have this car very long either. And I was a teenager, I was maybe 15. And I bought this car out of the recycler, which was a paper version of what you would equivalent to like Craigslist or Marketplace. It was still in paper form. It was called the Recycler in the Los Angeles area, which I think they still have recycler.com. So I happened across this Fiat. It was a mid-70s, I'm not quite sure on the year, Fiat 128. I'll try and show somewhat of a picture I would just grab online. There are no pictures of this car because we couldn't afford cameras and film and having it developed and everything. Nobody has a picture of this car. This is a legendary car that I had. After I describe it, you're gonna see why. It was just a square, boxy thing. It almost looks like a Russian Lada. And I don't even remember if it had 2 doors or 4 doors. I do remember I rode my BMX bike across the valley from Burbank over to San Fernando, where you'll see these red and white smokestacks on the other side of the valley. That's where this dude lived. Now I met him at a Jack in the Box over there, and I locked up my BMX bike and I got in this dude's car and he drove me to his house where this car was. And I'm looking at it and I was like, wow, that's perfect for me. The dude had taken like a hacksaw or something and cut, now this is a hard top car, he cut the entire like rear window all the way around the top of the front window and back down, and cut that off and put trunk latches. And when I say trunk latches, I'm talking about like a foot locker that would go at like the end of your bed back in the day or something. It had those latches. There was 2 in the front and 2 in the back to latch the thing onto the car. Now, if you know anything about cars and you do that, that's like cutting your pillar. That holds the car to be square. That's what makes the car rigid. And when you cut that, the car can technically fall apart. I didn't care. I got this car for $200. And this guy had Harleys in his garage. So the tailpipe had no muffler. and it came up and it was pinched and it had a curve like a fishtail. And because that's what all his Harleys had, the same exhaust. The hood said all the way across, "I love to drink," like that. The car was black, or it was a dark blue. It had blue wheels and a pink grill. The whole back window, which when the dude cut it, he cut around it. So when you unlatched it, you picked up the back window with the roof of the car. It was kind of heavy because it was actual glass. The back window had a gigantic Harley Davidson bird on there. It said Harley Davidson on it. It was plastered in beer stickers. I mean, the hood said, "I love to drink." I was underage at this time. I mean, I was like 15 when I owned this thing. This was the craziest looking car. So some people called it the sticker buggy. And some people I still know, they still remember this car. A lot of people knew this car. It had no headliner. So what I would do when I'd pick up friends, they would take like markers and stuff and draw on the metal part. There was no headliner. People would draw things and sign their name, and this car was just legendary. The other thing about this car is it only ran on 3 cylinders. It had 4. It was a manual transmission, but it only ran on 3 cylinders. I didn't care. It drove. I really loved this car. So I was living in Glendale at the time, and I was working at 31 Flavors, Baskin Robbins, up in Glendale. And, you know, I would take the main drag, which I think was like Brand Boulevard, or one of those main streets, and the cops would always look at this car. Now, there's nothing technically, I guess, illegal about it. It just it was covered in beer stickers. So I got pulled over one day. They pulled me over for excessive muffler noise. And I was like, "Sir, Harley Davidsons are louder than this car." I think they pulled it over because you could tell it was not safe for the road. It was covered in beer stickers. I think they could just tell by looking at it. Let's just pull it over for whatever reason. Excessive muffler noise. There was no muffler. It was straight piped. So I show the cop a fake ID, and they were like, because I was older by having that. And they were like, "This is not an acceptable form of identification. This is not a driver's license." So they impounded my car. Everything I owned was in that car. I lost everything. And when I went, I was hoping to get it, but it's $75 just for the tow fee. And then it's like $75 just to get it out of impound just because it went in there. That's $150 right there. That's if it's the same day. Every day it accumulates more, and it's almost like compounding interest. It's not like a per day charge. And after it sat in there for like a month, I was like, well, I just can't get it anymore. So by the time I was gonna get it, I called them up anyway. I was like, "What happened to that car?" They said, "We sent it away to be crushed." So everything I owned was in that car, and that car ended up getting crushed. I had a motorcycle at that same time though. I was driving a furniture truck at that time, and I saw this motorcycle, and I had this motorcycle, and so at least I had other transportation. But they took that car, they impounded it and crushed it. I wish we had pictures of it, because all we have is a story. You know, nobody has pictures. Nobody had cameras back then. You didn't just carry them around. I missed that car. I did not have that more than like a month or 2 before it got impounded, but it was something I had. And every time I see any sort of Fiat, that's what I think of. Even the new ones, I just think of my old Fiat. I have so many weird little stories like that. What is this? Another Aston Martin? Ferrari. Look, I'm on Ruberta. Look at 515 Ruberta. Wow, Celica. Handy Wand or Wandy Man? Some call me Handy Wand, others call me Wandy Man. You can call me whatever you want, but call me. That's hilarious. They're actually watching from up here. Wow, it's a good spot, I guess, if you wanted to be in the outfield. That's funny, that's pretty smart. It's technically not the most legal thing to do because you're blocking the sidewalk. It's over there. It's on Glen Oaks. Stupid California hillbilly just flicked his cigarette out the window. Walking alone with my mask on and at the outside.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube channels. I got it. Oh, do you? Okay, so when I say I watch YouTube, you're probably like, I'm on YouTube all the time. What's your YouTube channels? Because I watch, have you ever heard of Bald and Bankrupt? No? He's one of these kind of nomad guys that's been traveling along with Harold Ball. I don't know why they both have Ball. The other guy's Swedish, his name is Harold Balder.
I love it.
Yeah, I never really...
Dang, man. And the light's blinking red. Somebody had a major crash right here. Dang. Now wait a second and see what they're doing. This is going over the hill from the valley to Simi. As soon as you get on the other side of this hill, you're in Simi. Simi is like a giant rectangle. We're going to go all the way across the top side of the rectangle and then go down the side of the rectangle right to Blessed Hope. Welcome to Simi Valley. Smoggy or hazy or something today over there. coming down to Panga from the 118. A little hazy today. You can't see the other side of the valley, which means it's pretty bad. But you can see these big old rocks. Toth's house. Supposedly, I know her husband. I remember the guy. Hope he's there. Cool to finally meet him. I cannot see either. Show you something on this street. I gotta go this way anyway. But you're gonna see some of these buildings on the right. Like this black one right here. There's no writings on it. There's a bunch of graffiti, but there's nothing on the doors. There's no addresses. There'll be another one up here. Like right here. Little metal door. There'll be another one up here. Those are all music studios. They don't advertise that they're music studios, but like One-on-One is over here. There's a whole bunch of famous music studios right here that you can't see. They're just blank. This little build, oh, not that one, but similar to that. They're all right here. They used to be anyway. I don't know what's still here, but this is where they all used to be, and you never knew. The only way you'd know is if you heard about somebody's going to be in the area, then you knew this is where they were going to be. And you park behind the place, so you don't even see their cars either. Like this, that used to be a studio right there on the right, and there's no way to really know.